Well, hello everyone to another Bible Illustrated Hands live stream. I hope this goes well. I was planning to finish this drawing of Archangel Raphael. I won't be drawing the whole thing, I will just color him. So I will add 6 other archangels up here, but I might as well just draw it while we have a little talk. And I need just to access the live stream. Hi, Jack of all blades, welcome. Hi, Emma. I just need to access this from my computer as well because I want to follow the chat. Hi, Socrates. Hi, Kay. Hello, everyone. So we already have a nice audience here. So I will just color, talk with you guys, and so on. So, and of course, happy first day of Lent. Today is the Clean Monday. Hi, Nick. Nice having you here. So today we will draw. Well, I like tomatoes, so feel free to draw them. Though due to heartburn, I probably shouldn't have any. It is when you get issues with stomach acid, because I'm ped obese, you probably noticed. I was actually very surprised to learn that tomatoes aren't good for you and mint tea isn't good for you, which was a bit of a revelation for me because I simply thought that mint tea is good for your. Hi, Violet. Nice having you here. So I just assumed that mint tea is generally good for the stomach, but surprise, surprise, just because something tastes nice and smells nice does not mean that it is overall good for you. But learn something new every day, even if it is mint tea trivia. So happy first day of Great Lent and happy fifth day of Lent for Catholics. I don't know if Anglicans do Lent. I think they do, but don't know how much of Catholic fasting customs they follow. Well, Socrates, you will be surprised just how little tomato there is in ketchup, and that is why Italians hate when you put ketchup on pasta, because it is blasphemy. Actually, I haven't had ketchup in quite a long time. I mean, when people put it in a dish, I'll eat it. I don't mind it. I like it, but for me to put it personally on something, it haven't. That didn't happen in, I think, 10 years at least. But I'm starting to admire mustard more and more, even though again it's probably not the best thing to have on as regards to my heartburn. So. By the way, Thaddeus, yes, I know he's visiting there. He's visiting the bishops. So if you have the chance, go and see the man, the head of the Serbian church. Well, actually, Nick, a lot of people would. At least in Serbia, people barely differentiate between, tomato paste and ketchup. For them, that's the same, because they simply assume that ketchup is basically just tomato paste with some added salt or oregano, but it's it's bad. What's catty? We do, Violet. We do. Actually, in the Orthodox Church, we have 4 weeks, I think, of preparation for Lent, and so as time goes by, you stop eating meat. On 1 week on meat fair, you can have meat even if it's on fasting days. I mean, technically they're not fasting days if you can eat meat, but then on the next week you can't have cheese and dairy, and then you enter Lent. So it's. Hi, Sophia, nice to have you here. So hi, Lisa, too. Hi everybody. Well, for me, as time goes by, I'm sort of starting to learn to like, ordinary food that just makes me feel full and that's it. You know, so that's a big improvement for me. Until recently, I was like, if it doesn't taste good, I can't eat it. But now hey, as long as it makes me feel full and is relatively healthy, I'll eat it and I'll leave it at that. So, oh wait, what friend? Which friend? Did I miss a prayer request? What is my favorite food? Hmm. Well, I must say, uh, hmm. I would say the way my mom makes her pizza. It's simply the best because she uses this special dough. I don't know how it's called in English. Let me just check real quick. I apologize for this, but this is something. Aha, flaky pastry. Okay, so she. Aw, thanks. Um, she uses flaky pastry, which makes the dough real soft, and she puts a lot of topping inside, and she closes the pizza, similar to Vesuvio pizza, that closed pizza, and it's simply the best. For me, there is no greater food than that. And technically, I suppose you could make a Lenten variant of it. We generally make a capricciosa, like ham, yellow cheese, boiled mushrooms, ketchup. Sorry, but it's still sort of a thing we do. Hi, Nikolaki. Zdravo. Unreal Dungeon Master. Unreal as in really good, or Unreal as the game Unreal? So, which Unreal is it? Well, you probably know, Socrates, that I'm no fan of peanut butter. I'm not a fan of peanut in general. Um, for me, peanut is something that you have only in peanut form. You don't put it in other dishes. And I'm not a fan of Chinese dishes, especially where they like using their peanuts. So, how do I pray for and help my mom and my sister who believe in witchcraft stuff? Well, you simply pray for their protection, just be honest with the Lord. Simply ask the Lord, protect my mom and sister from the vials of the devil. I assume that by believe you mean practice. So do they practice it? Uh, Michael Gallimore, just a question on icons of St. John the Baptist. Why is he sometimes depicted with angel wings in icons? Because that is to. Okay, first, because he came as a messenger before Christ. In Orthodox Church, especially, we call him the forerunner. That he came before Christ to announce his coming. And the Greek word for messenger is angelos, that is an angel. But that is also a fulfillment of prophecy from, I think, book of Malachi, where the Lord says that I will send an angel before my face, which again refers to Saint John the Baptist. So it does not mean that he's an angel as in a being of an angel, but he is an angel as he announces the arrival of Christ. Um, Emma. Okay, well, I wouldn't say, okay, they might be, a little bit into witchcraft, but that's more like superstition than actual, But yeah, it's still bad because it's still occultism. So simply pray for the Lord to give them guidance and to protect them from any like dark influences that these objects and practices may have on their lives. I mean, thing is, they need the Lord. They need someone. People grab onto crystals and similar things because they want reassurance in their lives, and And if they truly believe that the Lord is there for them, that He loves them, they would ditch crystals. And you know, the Lord is way more reassuring than tarot cards. Because all of these forms of divination, they all essentially say that your destiny is set in the stars or wherever, set in stone. And if you, when you believe that, um, that basically means that you can't change it. But in Christianity, not only you can change it because you have free will. I will turn on the light. I apologize. Not only can you change your destiny, so to speak, but you're guided by love itself. So it's, I think, way more liberating than crystals and cars and whatever. Jack of all blades, off topic. Did you see they are making a vodka called Atomic from grain grown exclusively in Chernobyl exclusion zone? Well, people be stupid. Like, why would anyone drink that? I mean, would you even want to sell that? Imagine that you're selling alcoholic beverages. Would you really want to have literal radioactive stuff in your liquor store? I wouldn't. I mean, man, people. Um, Speaking of witchcraft, when did you become Orthodox and what is your family's religion? Well, my family religion is technically Orthodox. I mean, they would consider themselves Orthodox even though my mother simply does not believe in anything. She simply sort of believes in something, like majority of Serbs. Father is an atheist. Again, he would probably say that he's an Orthodox during a census, but would still consider himself an Orthodox. Um, so, and I became Orthodox. Well, again, I was baptized when I was 8. And around that time, I read a children's Bible, and that is how my piety began. Even though I was quite little, I would still really like churches, mosques, go to them. So it's weird. Lord works in mysterious ways. Um, do you know what can I eat to replace protein? You can eat mushrooms, you can eat seafood. You can eat seafood even during the so-called strict fasting days. So like when there's no fish, you can eat seafood like mollusks, shells, prawns. I think maybe not prawns, but you can eat those lentils, beans. These should be more than enough, I think. Um, Thaddeus, a lot of Orthodox went through Lents and fasting periods, and their bodies did not fall apart without protein. Trust me, bodies manage to survive. So just eat this, and you will be more than well fortified. What is my favorite Holy Week service? Hmm. Oh, I like the winding sheet service, the memorial for Christ, as you call it. Hi, Nathaniel. Uh, Thanks, Xpeer. Marcia Kosubia, I think that's how I pronounce it. I'm sorry. Was Caesar a tyrant? Well, by most modern definitions of the word tyrant, I would say that he was. But again, just because somebody is a tyrant does not mean that he's a bad ruler. I think that the word carries a lot of bad, you know, uh, baggage, and on occasion it's well warranted, but also it is the internal debate: democracy or monarchy, that is tyranny or lawlessness, and so hi Elias. So welcome everyone. We have quite a number of people here. Great having you. I haven't had a live stream in quite a long time, and to be honest, Nicolas Papas, does missing church on Sundays due to studying for exams is something bad? Well, why didn't you study before Sunday? I think that is the crux of the issue. Also, it really depends how far the church is. If it's really far, then maybe some understanding can be made. But if it's close, you know, those 2 hours won't really make a difference if you learned or did not learn outside of church time. So, highlight of Christ. Okay, this is strange, but I think I answered everything. So, what do I think of ever? Well, I'm pretty pro ever, you know. Uh, Now a more religious question. How about discussing about Egyptian gods with Christianity? Jordan B. Peterson has a discussion on this one. Well, to be quite honest, I'm not an expert on issue. There is this channel that I really like called Inspiring Philosophy. Michael Jones is the owner of the channel, and he has a lot of videos debunking the claims that different deities, Egyptian included, are actually where Christianity came from. Personally, I always found these claims to be extremely shallow. Um, Not because they knew much about these Egyptian deities, but because they knew about Christ. So uh, I honestly don't think how people can fall for that. Only people who are really not don't know their own religion. So you know, check out their channel. I think it's pretty good. So a video about Tanako exorcism. By the way, is that the exorcism in Romania where that nun died? If that's the one, again, I probably won't make a video about it, but I will make a video about a movie about that event. And it's a bad movie. It's a horrible. It's simply a bad movie. It's not no judgment on whether that was a genuine or fake exorcism. That is possession. Sorry, but the movie was plain terrible. Just plain terrible. And I will love to tear it apart because, for giggles, nothing much else. Sorry. Everything in the Orthodox world right now. Well, I'm pro and against it. I think that this thing that is happening is horrible, and thank God for it. That's my answer to everything. Have you heard of flex tape, and do I use it? I don't know what that is. What should I Google it? Will I regret it if I Google it? Flex tape. Bible Illustrated flex tape. What's this? I don't want to play the video, but I'm very curious. What? Wait, is that from that meme when that guy like fixes the leaking reservoir or something? Coptic Church takes inspiration from ancient Egyptian beliefs. Well, I know. I know that they use Ankh, like the symbol of Ankh, um, as the symbol of eternal life, which they sort of Christianized. I don't mind that, especially because Ankh is, well, basically a cross with an added element. So, I myself wouldn't use it, but Jack of all trades, what is the latest news on Montenegro situation? Still, everybody's protesting, but the protests are growing, and I think that the government has realized that they dug themselves into a grave, and thank God for that. Their leader Milo Djukanovic, he has been in power since forever, and um, out of sheer spite, I'm really glad that he made a mistake this big. Matthew Carvin, hi Matthew. Do you have any Christian movie recommendations? Well, I like Babette's Feast a lot. It's a really a good, feel-good Christian movie that you won't regret watching, you and your family. And I'm not being sarcastic. Like sometimes I usually on my Facebook profile when I say a heartwarming family comedy. It's not neither comedy nor heartwarming nor anything you should watch with your family. So now I'm not being sarcastic. So watch Babette's Feast. Uh, Nikolaki, it's understandable if you don't address this, but how would you feel about a Greek Orthodox Patriarchate in Greece that also governs over Greek Orthodox Archdiocese? I don't understand the question. Can you be more specific? Hi, Roniel. Hi, Anna. Hi, Anita. Oh man, a lot of guys, people. Light of Christ. What is my favorite part of the Old Testament? Well, I really like the Psalms. I generally like the prophets. Um, I don't like historical books like Kings, Samuel. It's just, majority of Genesis after everything is created. I mean, it has its place. I'm just not a huge fan. But Job, man, I could read that book always. Hi, Mercia. What is the feeling in Serbia about coronavirus? Uh, Thanks, Mike, for the question. Well, everybody's sort of joking about it. Some people are sort of worried, but general consensus is that it's not that dangerous. That it is not as dangerous as flu. So, of course, our government has also said that, which makes everybody think and and they're quite justified to think that it's probably much more dangerous than it is, because when our government says something, you need to multiply it with -1 and you will get the true answer. Hi, Jacob. Nice to meet you here, man. Ro- Roniel, really? I mean, how else could they pronounce it? Roniel. I mean, it's literally there. Nicholas Papas, don't you think we are closer to some revelation events? Well, every day we are closer to them. You know, Nicholas, I don't know. I don't like guessing whether we're in the end times. If we are not, I like how Saint Nikolai Velimirovich said it. Um, we will meet the Antichrist, the false prophet, the whore of Babylon in our lifetime. And he meant each of us, every Christian, meets these types within his or her lifetime. So, that's how I like to see it. Uh, why not have a Greek patriarchate who also governs over the Greek Orthodox Church in America, and let the Constantinople patriarchate take care of themselves, not only because of the situation, but, well, to be quite honest, I don't know why the ecumenical patriarch and the Greek Church are sort of separate. I mean, I never really understood that part. So I you should make an ASMR drawing video. This whole channel is just that, Thaddeus. Why did the church stop sharing everything common? Was it because its class composition changed? Was there some kind of official ruling on the subject? Well, Nathaniel, it's quite simple. There were a lot more people. uh, such such things cannot be done when you have a lot of people. It simply that is still preserved in monasteries. So it did not stop, but church said, okay, this is the part where we will share everything in common, and everybody has to enter into it willingly. But uh, for everybody to do that, no, it's unfeasible. Um, Roniel, do you have any advice on where to start learning about the faith? Well, for me, I liked the catechesis of Saint. of Saint Nikolai Velimirovich called "The Fate of the Saints." I believe you can find it I believe you can find it in English. Um, uh, I also liked the Rainbow series by Father Thomas Hopko. Um, I learned a lot from the OCA's official website. So so check out those. So you see, so you see them in a metaphorical, mystical way, like the Genesis narrative. Well, I tend to, but can you be more specific? Nick Wood, what do you think about people who were killed for Christ who were not Eastern Orthodox? Are they saints? Um, you know, I'll just leave that up to God because as an Orthodox I can't pray to them, which is a very important part of being a saint that I can pray for them. But because they're not part of the Eastern Orthodox communion, and we are supposed to emulate saints, and if somebody is a saint but they're not Eastern Orthodox, then I cannot emulate somebody who's not part of the church, you know? I don't mind them being saved and even having a powerful intercessory powers and so on, but the that is why canonization process is so important. That the church okays praying to somebody. I believe that they can be saints with small s in the sense of people who are saved, but not capital S as in officially approved saints of the church. So I would like to translate your videos, but I don't know how I can. Anna, I saw your comment in one of my videos. I'll reply to it. I will share some videos how you can do that. And once I finish doing some other things on my main channel, I will make a separate page with scripts from my videos so people who want to translate can do it so more easily. Yeah, count. Yeah, the biggest problem of American Orthodox churches is lack of churches. That is true. Sadly, the church of maybe not even lack of churches as much as for a church you only need one table that you dedicate to be the altar table, and that's it. Like and something to be the chalice and something to be the discos. People need priests. That's the biggest issue. I mean, you don't believe in a literal antichrist. You just see him as in a metaphorical, mystical way, something like that. I do believe in a literal antichrist, but um, I don't see him being a lot worse than, for example, Diocletian, except that he will initiate worldwide persecution, whereas other small a antichrists were local. But and of course the literal antichrist having all the benefits of technology. I might be wrong, but that is why I'm not a huge fan of discussing end times, because I simply don't know and I can only guess. What Orthodox YouTube channels do you recommend? To be quite honest, I don't follow a lot of Orthodox channels on YouTube. Not because I think that I really like Orthodox Pebbles. They're amazing. Check out them. I like Jonathan Peugeot. Though I don't watch majority of his videos, but sometimes they just click with me. And generally like Father Barnabas Powell. He's also great. Oh, and there's one. Oh, wait, there are okay. Actually, I have a number of Orthodox channels that I'm subscribed to. Just a moment. I need to. Father Michael Ile, I think that's how it's pronounced. He has the Orthodox. He has a channel, The Orthodox Experience with Father Michael Lilie. I'll share you the link right now. All of these you can easily find. So here you go. Whoops. Okay, that was from my main channel. I apologize, but what are your thoughts about using saints, Jesus, angels in novels? Uh, it depends. I'm generally not a huge fan because the very fact that novels are fiction, that you're using a real person doing something that they haven't done. I'm sort of bothered by that, you know? Then again, I did sort of use it in, for example, what was my video called? If God were to eliminate all evil. But that was more of a metaphor. So I'm personally not a fan, and especially goes for miracles. Like, okay, it's nice that a miracle happens to a person in a novel, but um you're using something that's deeply personal from real life happening to a non-existent person and not actually happening because it's a novel. So personally, I'm not a fan. I mean, fine, use them, but I'm not a fan. Hi, Jakub. Heather, is it possible that some people can be born bad? This is concerning psychopathy in people, which are believed to be around 6%. That and the issue of nature versus nurture. I actually answered this. It's called my video is called, I think, "Salvation of Psychopaths" on Bible Illustrated Hands. Um, we're all born into original sin, and there's no way about it. Are some people worse? I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest. I think that even psychopaths can sort of work around that. Maybe it's difficult. That is why we constantly emphasize that we should not judge, in the sense that we do not know how the Lord will judge people. You know, who knows? Maybe some seemingly unrepentant serial killer will get saved because he wasn't as bad as he wanted, as he was tempted to be, and he couldn't do any better. We don't know. You know, that is why, it's all over the Psalms, like the Lord judging hearts and kidneys. So again, this is just my opinion. Don't quote me too much on that. I don't put much stock into it. So, what do you think of the act not to have access to liturgy that is in a language you understand? What to do in this case? Well, I would attend such liturgy. It's sub-ideal, but it's better than nothing. And after some time, if you follow through a booklet, you will learn some parts by heart, and you will even start to understand a little bit of the language. So. Yeah, Light of Christ. Yeah, we lack a lot of churches. What are your thoughts on the issue with excommunication and conflict between Patriarch Bartholomew and Patriarch Kirill? Uh, well, I'm not a fan. I have a video on my main channel called Schism Survival Guide. I still stand firmly behind it, even though I'm, of course, Ted more Kirill. But I think that both parties should go and get some fresh air more often. Emma, I haven't been able to find the answer on why the papacy is heretical. Because you literally let one man govern the church, and the only man who can govern the church alone is the God man, Jesus Christ. He is the sole head of the church, and if you have a pope, you literally have a two-headed church. And if you have only one man who leads the church, then naturally you will get people infallibility. Because if you have only one man, you will you need to trust him that he will make important decisions to be infallible. And that is something that we haven't witnessed in history. Pope Honorius was a condemned heretic. So. What do you want to say about "You're Peter, and on this rock I will build my church" argument? We believe that by rock he means the faith that Peter has confessed. You're the Son of God, and that is the most important question that each of us is asked every minute, every hour, every day. Who do you people say that I am? And if we truly believe that he is the Son of God, then that is the rock upon which we are firmly established. And that rock is Christ. He is the cornerstone. He is the rock, not Peter. Besides, in the continuation, Christ says, "And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound on earth, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. But he gives this to all of the apostles. I don't know, I can't quote you specific verses, but he does. So that is how Orthodox see that verse as given the power. It refers to Peter, but not only to Peter. Um, Geo Kakir, hi Boyn, what can you say about emergency baptism? I'm currently not within the church and worried about coronavirus. I've been watching it closely. If you want to know anything, just ask. But still, don't worry about it. Emergency baptism is when you're on your deathbed, not when you're worried that something will happen to you. And if you're a catechumen, that is somebody who's preparing for baptism, you dying in catechumenate means that you have died baptized. That is how church has decided that gray area. Thanks again, Abraha. Can a person, after getting the mark of the beast, retract from it? I don't know, and I doubt that they can. The very fact that they did receive the mark probably means that they have thought of a little loophole that God does not really put much stock into it. So, again, we don't know what the mark is precisely. Maybe it can be removed, but again, it is very dangerous to say that. For me to say yes, you could, and then it turns out that you can't, and now you're in hell, and I'm like, "Whoops, sorry," you know. So, what are your opinion on some Protestant churches who doesn't view homosexuality as a sin, and how can it be a sin if it's a person is born like that? Is it part of the original sin? Yes, it is a part of the original sin. Each one of us is born with different, temptations, and homosexuals simply are born with a temptation to be attracted by the members of the same sex. Again, homosexuality per se is not a sin because it is an attraction towards same gender, which is not sinful in itself, but actually engaging in it is a sin, and that is why celibacy is a way for homosexual individuals to go in the Orthodox Church. Hi, National Localist. And what is the seal of Christ? Well, in Orthodoxy, that is the baptism and chrismation. That is the two most important holy mysteries, that is sacraments by which you received in the church. The baptism gives you a birth in Christ, and the chrismation fills you with the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Why is the Orthodox less Catholic de facto? I mean, it is less spread throughout the world than the Roman Catholic Church. For example, the Orthodox churches are not always in vernacular. Well, no, practically no Catholic church was in vernacular until quite recently, Anna. And you need to realize that at least Orthodoxy, we had huge temptations with both Islam and communism. With a lot of which Catholicism on whole did not have to deal with. So we basically got imprisoned by Catholicism and Islam, but now the time of Orthodoxy is coming. So be prepared, world. We're going to take you by the storm of the Holy Spirit. Heather, Violet Rose, do you know any modern saints, as in person? I mean, there's Saint Porphyrios, Saint Joseph the Hesychast, which I like a lot, even though the two of us would go be at each other's throat most probably, but still, I like him a lot. Saint Sophia the Elderless, elderess, not elderless, but elderess, female elder. In Serbia, we have Tedius of Vitovica. In Bulgaria, you have Grandpa Dobry. Okay, these two aren't canonized, but they surely will. Heather, I ask the question as I've always had interest into the minds of serial killers, heinous leaders. I know, I like to read about them too. I feel guilty about it. Most of them have mom issues, were abused or seen abuse in home, or over coddling. Yeah, and that is why, again, even with the most heinous of crimes, we cannot be absolutely sure. But we also need to remember that there is a quite of number of people who were abused, who suffered horribly in life, and yet they did not become serial killers. So, again, let the Lord judge. Thames again, what is the angel you're drawing? That's Saint Raphael, and he's holding the fish, which he told uh, Tobit to catch in order to banish demon Asmodeus, as using it as incense. You should have been a monk and made icons instead of drawings. Actually, I am trying to paint icons. I will show you my first icon. I did in one of previous live streams, but well. This is my first icon of Saint Thomas the Apostle. So it's on cardboard, but I hope to frame it and maybe put him up for adoption. I'm back. Okay, guys, we'll be here for some 4 minutes more, and then I'll have to call it quits because questions are coming in, and I'm barely drawing this, and I need to deliver everything to my patrons. I'm so sorry. Well, if we don't know about the mark, etc., how can we identify it? You know, I think it will be pretty obvious when it comes, and it should be something that's on your forehead, on your right hand, and that is very difficult or impossible to remove. For example, some chip that you put under your skin, for example, you know, that sounds feasible. Maybe it's not a chip, maybe it's some more advanced technology that is yet to come, who knows. But something akin to a tattoo or something, you know, again, I can't tell you until it comes, and to be quite honest, I hope I'm not alive by then. Boy, and what are your opinions on the concept that the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church could unite? I've read that there are plans for that. Listen, I would really like for both churches to unite, but honestly, I don't think that's possible. There are simply too many differences. No church will say, "Oh well, we were wrong for the past 1,000 years." There's a lot of bad blood. I think we should simply stick to our own thing and not kill each other, and we'll do well. You know. Thanks, Gail Cocker. Oh, thank you, Nathaniel. Well, I'm the iconography classes I'm actually taking right now aren't iconography classes per se. They have evolved into general painting drawing classes, and I think that I should have an adult supervision because otherwise I'll simply drown in my own style, and for an artist that is not a good thing, and that is why art teachers hate when people draw anime or manga style, because that is the only style you end up actually drawing. So, Light of Christ. Well, I hope and pray that Catholic and Orthodox Church unite, but I'm not much of an optimist, to be quite honest. Thames again, does an icon need to be blessed by a priest? No, it doesn't. But I have made a separate video on my Bible Illustrated Hands video. Why is it still done, and why not? Hi, Captain Crunch. What's a radio? What do you think the Catholic Church needs to do for the Orthodox Church and Catholic to be in communion with each other? Well, ditching filioque and papal supremacy is a good start. Boyan, did they give you the required blessing to make real icons? That could be cool. You're a natural thing, so well, I had the blessing of my spiritual father, so that's that. Roniel, I don't know why, but seeing the orthodoxy and piety of Patriarch Kirill makes me so attracted to Orthodox. He's such a great leader who has such a great zeal. Well, yeah, thank God. I wish the Roman Catholic Church had such a leader. Well, I don't think that recent popes were that bad, you know. Bye, Roniel. Captain Crunch, how do you think that Montenegro's situation will be resolved? I think that the government will collapse. And this is simply based on, well, you're literally striking against the Church of God. That won't bring you blessing from God, that will crumble you and destroy you. So, okay, guys, this is. Hi, Nila. Um, National localist. Do you think a softer papal primacy would work? Yes, I think it would. I don't mind Pope being a sort of a leader of Christians. That's fine, but him actually having authority over different bishops, that's a no-no. As some sort of reconciliator, maybe some kind of interpreter in the case of some. I don't mind that. That was what popes used to do before the schism. But once they started seeing other bishops as chess pieces, that's where the things sort of started falling apart. Yeah, and communion under both kinds, but it is still it's spreading slowly. I think that Europe is basically one of the last bastions of communion under one kind. I heard some Protestants like the Seventh-day Adventists say that the Pope is the Antichrist. What do you think about that? Well, if he was, he's not anymore. You know, I I I I honestly think that the time of the evil, power-hungry popes is behind us. But I also think that that honorable title of power-hungry evil has shifted to some other more dark, you know, um, forces that we can barely see. You know. So, but then that's just my opinion. Doesn't really matter. Um, have I seen the movie The Prince of Egypt? Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah. Somebody asked for Christian movies. That's one of them. Any plans to visit Mount Athos? Absolutely. I would love to do that. Well, you know, he has the right to declare dogma, but it's still that's something he only did after the schism and way after the schism. It was sort of like literally 19th century. By the way, popes can declare dogmas. Oh, by the way, I've just declared three dogmas. Again, rare, but why did you not declare dogma when people were fighting over whether Christ is God or not? You know? I mean, okay, I know that this is a caricature of papal infallibility, but when you read about the when you read about the it is simply a very late development that makes no sense in church. You can't have one person calling the shots in the church. That's hi Dengwu. How are you? If I sue my enemies for mistreating me, do you think that God will be angry with me? I know we are meant to love our enemies, but I couldn't finish school or work because of them. Uh, that's a tough one. Saint Paul would say that you should not sue. I was just reading that in the first in the no no in the second epistle to Corinthians. Um, he wasn't a fan of Christians suing each other. But this is something that is between you and your spiritual father. I don't know your situation, and it is very dangerous for me to give you advice. I this is something you really need to with somebody else, not me. Well, I don't know. Corona, I know. Hey, Corona. I don't know. Yeah, I am. I am drawing Raphael. But then conversation got out of hand, so only got like 1/5 of the drawing finished. Oh no, no, no problem, Nila. I mean, I understand that you want to know, but this is one of those very touchy subjects that I literally must not approach because the risks, the chances of me ruining everything for your soul and life are huge. I'm sorry. No, actually, my both hands are free. My other hand is on the mouse, and my phone is actually my pencil holder. That is how I record all of these videos. What are Raphael's attributes? Well, he's usually depicted with holding by holding a fish or protecting small Tobias. So, like if you have this guardian angel figure and there's a name next to the small human, that's Raphael. Do you know any good social media sites or websites where Orthodox can meet and talk to each other? Not a whole lot in Southern California, unfortunately. There is a Reddit community. There are a couple of Facebook groups. I really like Orthodox Hipster Coffee Hour. Um, Maybe you will like some, but these are big and I really like them. So, is Serbia a nice country to go on vacation? I would love to visit Eastern Europe. Yes, it is very nice. His character? Powerful, imposing, exorcistic, protecting, but kind. By the way, Yang Wu, read the Book of Tobias. I think you will like it a lot. Book of Tobit, sorry. Basically, you have the case of an angel approaching you and leading you all the way while protecting his identity. It's quite something. Are guardian angels created each second for each person being born each second? No. They exist since time immemorial, since God made them, and they simply are granted the this honor of being our guardian angels. Poor angels. Oh, the things that they see. I don't know if you guys know this, but in regular Orthodox evening and morning prayers, we ask our guardian angels to forgive us what they have witnessed, basically. It's sad. Do you have any specific goals for land this year? Not to fail it. That's my sole goal. If I do it that much, I'll be one happy land failure. Oh, read it, read it. It's not even that long. I think you could read it in a day. I'm scrolling back to see if I have some questions. Let's go for an hour. Do you have any plans for a Discord community? Actually, I do have a Discord, but that's for patrons only. The reason being is that I cannot devote time to moderate it. And it is one of those things that happens in the background of Bible Illustrated, which I don't think are that important. I don't want a community about Bible Illustrated, you know? We have a community and it's called the church. So, I mean, I haven't seen The Last Temptation of Christ. Um, but I haven't heard nice things about that movie, to be quite honest. My spiritual father used to say it's plain out Nestorian, like Christ's humanity and divinity literally at each other's throats. So haven't seen it. I may see it, but I generally don't like to expose myself to things that I know I won't like. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I will like it, but probably not. Oh, thanks, Anna. Nice to talk to you too. 5 minutes more. Oh man, I need to check how did I color Raphael's hair. And it's dark purple. I like to draw my angels monochromatic. And Raphael got purple. Michael got red and Gabriel got blue. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Hi, Doctor Who. Thanks, Edward. Doctor Who, this will only last for 5 more minutes. Just telling you in advance. Well, Nila, you can become any Orthodox because we don't have denominations in Orthodoxy, so all it's all one church. And just because somebody's, Serbian, Bulgarian, that's not a different denomination. That simply signifies under which patriarchate somebody is. Well, he is all purple, so it's not like his hair is purple, like his whole purple. I actually got this from Orthodox icons because whenever you sort of see angels in the background, you would have them in monochromatic, usually blue, but you can have other colors. The seraphim can be very colorful, like red, greens, blues, literally every color. Are there any popular guardian angels? Well, Saint Michael is guardian angel of Israel. So there's him. I would assume that Saint Gabriel is the guardian angel of the most holy Theotokos. Well, was. I would suppose that. Why color the angel's skin though? Well, because if I draw it as it were, this would be a blank paper because they're like invisible. Do I see Orientals and Eastern Orthodox uniting? What is necessary for that to happen? Uh, are you guys like agreeing on these questions somewhere behind my back? Because this is like the third time that a lot of people ask the same thing, like simultaneously. I think that is more probable than Catholics, because we don't have as much as bad blood. Our rights are much more closer. Uh, sure, we sort of condemned each other on some ecumenical councils, but with Oriental churches, I can sort of imagine that maybe it was a misunderstanding or that people have, group pesos. Again, I don't know. Not for me to decide. Take God. Has God already created all the souls that will ever be, or does He keep making new ones each time a baby is conceived? Yes, a soul is made every time a baby is conceived. There's no like souls hovering around waiting for their bodies. That was a Gnostic teaching, by the way. And why does He create new people? Because He likes people. He loves people. You know. Why do people have children? Why can they be happy with the people that are already around? Why do people get pets? Aren't they happy with cockroaches in the kitchen. I know how to say I'm a green duck. In fact, how do you say it in Serbian? I'm a green duck. Ja sam zelena patka. There you go. Now it's frozen in time. Here you go. In Latin script. 1 minute more, guys. I heard some Protestants say souls are waiting for babies to inhabit. No, 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 no. That's plain out wrong. That's simply no. Here we go. Here we go, Sweeney. Well, guys, calling it quits. Thanks for joining me for the first day of Lent, for the first day of me falling apart. Just kidding. Hopefully that does not happen. I wish you all a blessed Lent, a blessed great Lent, a great blessed great Lent, and a great blessed Lent without great, as in great Lent, but still a great small g land with capital L. And I hope to have these more often, but in all probability I won't because no time. So, bye guys. Boyan out. Are you sure that you want to stop streaming? I don't want to, but I have to.